regardless of what you do as an individual, just how hard it is. I mean, you go away from it, and to me, about 3 times, I didn't want to play. I just didn't want to do it. It took so much out of you. And again, I'm a lot different than most athletes. I'm much more serious about everything, wired completely differently. And when you're like that, it hurts more. And it's just like being, it's like, here's a store window, okay? And when you're little, there's candy behind that window. And you can almost touch it if you can't get there. And the elation of winning, I've often said there's more great stories in a losing locker room than a winning locker room. Great story. And no one cares to go there because this country relishes, as everyone does, they relish winners. But, I mean, there's some devastated people in that other locker room. Devastated. And unfortunately, that was the case for me many years.
You've been in the stage so many times, and you know the value of the moment. Last year or this year, is there any message you gave to the guys about once they get here?
I have no message. I'm not a messenger. Our coaches are messengers, okay?
Jerry, everybody talks about offense. The great Laker teams had defense, and that's how you forced guys to miss the shots. This team's defense, do you think it's a little overlooked?
Well, I think it's, when you see somebody every night, obviously it's a good defensive team. They're a good defensive team. But when you see somebody every night, you pretty much can't run a play. People are waiting on you. So it has to be people that are creative passers. We have a bunch of creative passers here, a lot of versatile players. And it's obvious that Steph and Clay are going to be on their hit list not to let them get off. And, our bench did an incredible job the other night. And the question would be, well, will they do this the next game? But will Thompson and Curry score 20 between the next game? So a lot of stories after every game. This should be fun. I know the audience throughout America wanted to see this series, and they're getting a chance to see it.
Jerry, have you had conversations with LeBron years?
Well, as I say, I know LeBron. Let's put it that way. Okay, I greatly admire what he's accomplished.
A lot of people have kind of taken shots at him for his finals record.
That's the most ridiculous thing. If I were him, frankly, I'd probably want to strangle you guys, okay? No, it's ridiculous. He's carried teams on his shoulder. They've been to finals 6 straight times. How many times have they been the favorite? None. 0. Okay? Grossly unfair to him. I don't want to sound like Donald Trump, but it's hard for me to believe that someone doesn't recognize his greatness. It's hard for me to believe. This guy does everything. He's like a Swiss Army knife. Okay, he does everything, and he's competitive as hell. And frankly, I wish people would leave him alone.
Jared, when you played with Will, do you think that maybe because people see how big and strong and fast he is, kind of like Will, they think it's maybe easier than it is to do the kind of stuff he's done, like you said, he get here 6 straight times?
I really couldn't get into that. I don't know. I just know that Will Chamberlain played the game at a level that few had ever played the game.
When you heard the reading the book, was it flattering?
Well, as I say, I know him, okay? It is flattering. And he knows that I like him, okay? He knows that. And he knows I admire the way he plays.
You're talking about you won the finals MVP and it was miserable and it's devastating to lose. How do you feel about your finals record?
I'm sorry?
How do you feel about your finals record? Is that something that bothers you?
Sure it bothers. Sure it bothers. And even today it bothers. No fun to get there that many times and not to get the results you want, regardless of how you play. In the playoff, the best players are supposed to play better. I did. It made no difference. We weren't good enough, obviously.
John Gordy once said to me, don't blame an individual in a team game. And you know this, there's so many you're surrounded by so many people. So to say a guy's a winner or a loser, particularly a loser, is a little unfair in that regard.
People who get this point in time to be praised for what they've done. It's just so easy to point. And the social media, the press, everyone looking for a different story, everyone looking for a different angle. That's something I did not have to put up with. And I will tell you today, I would not have any kind of social account. I would not. Conversations with you in person, I would never put anything. That's going to be there forever. And sometimes when you're down and when you're irritated, you might say something that you'll regret later in life. And I would not do that, period. I would not.
Have any of your successes through the years, specifically with helping build teams and overseeing, championship teams, has any of that lessened the sting that you feel about your finals record as a player? Or does it still feel the same today as it did?
Listen, I don't really want to talk about my final. My final record is what it is, okay? The only thing I care about is winning. I've been fortunate enough to be involved in franchises that have done a lot of winning. And it's a thrill to be involved, and particularly at this point in my life, that they thought I had something that maybe I could contribute to. When people view you a certain way, it's flattering. And I don't want compliments. I don't see compliments. I don't want them, period. That's not who I am, period. And the thing that means most to me is to try to come along and do what they ask me to do. If I can make a contribution, if they ask me questions, I'm going to give them a response. But otherwise, I'm just part of a group here that I love to be around. A lot of great people here, and it's fun to be around a lot of young people. They help keep you young, trust me.
Do you like where this league is going in terms of the evolution of the game?
I'm sorry?
Do you like where this league is going in terms of the evolution of the game?
I think it's a lot easier to play today. It's not a dirty game at all, not a physical game. If somebody gets bumped, it's flagrant foul or something beyond comprehension to me. Obviously don't like officials being scrutinized the way they're scrutinized day after. It's grossly unfair to them. Makes their job harder. This is a hard game to officiate. Hard game to officiate. And it's not something that I think they should get rid of the rule, period.
Do you think comparison between this time and your time
Last question
as a
for
player
Jerry. He's got to get to the
are
draft.
fair in terms of what Seth would have done if he had played during your time, for example?
It would have been great when he played. He would have knocked on his fanny a lot harder. But he also would have gotten the free throw line a little bit more. But he doesn't get any calls at all. He gets no call. But he plays the game so differently than anyone I've ever seen. And you have to appreciate different kind of skills. What's golf? Jordan Spieth. Is he the best ball striker out there? No. But he's by far the greatest putter. And what is this about? It's about scoring. Steph scores, okay? Team that scores more. If we score more points tomorrow, we're going to be happy, okay? If we don't, we're not going to be happy. So it's just how you can get that ball in the hole. It's almost how he wills it in the hole. But he's just a magnificent player and a better person.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.